Making a classic apple pie involves a delicious combination of a flaky crust, sweet and slightly tart apple filling, and warm spices like cinnamon and nutmeg. Ingredients. For the pie crust, mix 2 crusts for a double crust pie. 1. 2½ cups all-purpose flour. 2. 1 tablespoon granulated sugar, optional, for a slightly sweeter crust. 3. 1 teaspoon salt. 4. 1 cup, 2 sticks, cold unsalted butter, cut into small cubes. 5. 6-8 tablespoons ice water for the apple filling. 1. 6-8 medium apples, a mix of sweet and tart apples works best, such as Granny Smith, Honeycrisp, or Fuji. 2. 3/4 cup granulated sugar. 3. 1/4 cup light brown sugar, packed. 4. 1½ tablespoons all-purpose flour, for thickening. 5. 1½ teaspoons ground cinnamon. 6. 1/4 teaspoon ground nutmeg. 7. 1 tablespoon lemon juice. 8. 1 teaspoon lemon zest, optional, but it adds brightness. 9. 1 tablespoon unsalted butter, cut into small pieces, for dotting on top of the apples. 10. 1 egg, for egg wash, optional, instructions. 1. Prepare the pie crust. 1. Mix dry ingredients. In a large bowl, combine the flour, sugar, if using, and salt. 2. Cut in the butter. Add the cold, cubed butter to the flour mixture. 2. Use a pastry cutter, fork, or your fingers to work the butter into the flour until the mixture resembles coarse crumbs with pea-sized pieces of butter. 3. Add ice water. Gradually add the ice water, 1 tablespoon at a time, mixing gently with a fork until the dough starts to come together. 3. You may need 6-8 tablespoons of water. 4. Form the dough. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface and gently knead it a couple of times until it forms a cohesive dough. 4. Divide the dough in half and shape each half into a disc. 5. Chill the dough. Wrap each disc in plastic wrap and refrigerate for at least 1 hour, or up to 2 days. 5. This helps the butter firm up and makes the crust flaky. 2. Prepare the apple filling. 1. Peel, core, and slice apples. Peel, core, and slice the apples into about 1/4 inch thick slices. 2. Toss the apples. In a large bowl, toss the apple slices with the granulated sugar, brown sugar, flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, lemon juice, and lemon zest, if using. 2. Stir gently to coat the apples evenly with the mixture. 2. Set aside for 10–15 minutes to allow the juices to start to release. 3. Roll out the dough. 1. Preheat the oven. Preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, 220 degrees Celsius. 2. Roll the first disc of dough. On a lightly floured surface, roll out one of the dough discs into a circle about 12 inches in diameter. 2. Transfer this to a 9-inch pie dish, pressing it gently into the bottom and up the sides. 3. Add the filling. Pour the apple filling into the pie crust, spreading it evenly. 4. Dot with butter. Place small pieces of butter on top of the apples for added richness and flavor. 4. Top the pie. 1. Roll out the second disc of dough. Roll out the second dough disc and place it over the apples, covering the pie completely. 2. Seal the edges. Trim any excess dough, leaving about 1 inch of overhang. 2. Fold the overhang underneath the bottom crust to create a thicker border, then crimp the edges using your fingers or a fork. 3. Cut slits for steam. Use a sharp knife to cut several slits or a decorative pattern on top of the pie. 3. This allows steam to escape as the pie bakes. 4. Egg wash, optional. If you like a golden, glossy crust, brush the top of the pie with an egg wash. 4. To make an egg wash, beat 1 egg with 1 tablespoon of water, then brush it over the crust. 5. Bake the pie. 1. Bake at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, 220 degrees Celsius. Place the pie on a baking sheet to catch any drips, and bake for 20 minutes. 1. Then, reduce the oven temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius, and bake for an additional 35–45 minutes, or until the crust is golden brown and the filling is bubbling. 2. Check for doneness. The pie is done when the crust is golden brown, and the filling is thickened and bubbling through the slits in the crust. 2. If the edges of the crust are browning too quickly, cover them with aluminum foil or a pie shield. 6. Cool the pie. 1. Allow the pie to cool for at least 2 hours before slicing. 1. This helps the filling to set and makes it easier to slice. 7. Serve. 1. Serve the pie warm or at room temperature. 1. It's delicious on its own or with a scoop of vanilla ice cream or a dollop of whipped cream. Additional tips. 1. Apple variety. A mix of sweet and tart apples is best for flavor and texture. 1. Try a combination of Granny Smith, tart, Honeycrisp, sweet and crisp, and Golden Delicious, sweet and soft. 2. Make ahead. The pie can be made in advance and stored in the refrigerator for up to 2–3 days. 2. You can also freeze the assembled pie before baking, then bake it directly from the freezer. Just add extra baking time. 3. Thickening the filling. If your apples release too much liquid, you can add more flour or use cornstarch as a thickening agent for the filling. 4. Crust variations. For a different flavor, add a pinch of cinnamon or sugar to the crust mixture. Enjoy your homemade classic apple pie. It's a comforting, timeless dessert that's sure to impress.